You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to the Nerds Podcast. This is a different conversation right now, being that we're in February, but we're having a conversation about a slasher movie. And there's a couple of things that are kind of coinciding with this. One, it's 30 years since this movie hit theaters. 1996, Scream hit movie theaters 30 years ago, and we're getting the seventh installment of this franchise this month, February 2026. So real quick, I'm a fan of these movies, and I'm not, let me not say all of them, but I'm definitely was of a fan of the first one, because the movie experience for me is, if you can get that at the end, we get that twist at the end, I'm sold. And watching that story unfold, I'm invested. Watching that third act, and I find out there are two killers. I'm finding that why they did it, because this guy's mother left him, abandoned him when he was a kid, because he was the father was having an affair with Sydney's mother. Crazy stuff, but loved it. Again, I was so invested in it, just watching it, and couldn't believe it. Same thing happened in Beyond the Spider-Verse. The last Spider-Verse movie. At the end, I'm really watching. Oh my God, this is Miles. He's the he's the Prowler in this, and then that was the end of it. That's how invested I was in the movie, the story, the twist at the end. Again, that's what I paid my money for. Money well spent if I get that experience at the movies, which is what happened with Scream. Then they followed it up with the second one. Second one had the same effect. Didn't see the whole Billy's mother coming back for revenge because they killed her son. Didn't see that coming. But they also went the trilogy route. They were throwing out a lot of rules in these movies about trilogies and sequels, and what you can't say in a horror movie because then you're not going to survive. If you're a virgin, you could survive. All that stuff was being said and thrown out there. So it was a cool gimmick, but then they had the trilogy, and of course, when you have a franchise like this, and you have a brand like this, a character like Ghostface, you want to keep it going. The same as Freddy in A Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, Friday the 13th, Michael Myers in Halloween. We can go on all day with the list of franchise characters that can carry a movie series.
They're doing it now with Pennywise. Yeah.
Pennywise as well. Leatherface. Again, the list goes on and on. But this one is different because this is kind of a slasher franchise, and it's different because every single movie it's a different person taking on the persona of Ghostface for whatever reason. So, Booba, you were not a fan, like you said, of slasher movies, which is this is what this is, a slasher movie. And
I'm like Tara. I like the upper echelon of horror movies. The way she started in Scream 5, you know how they was like I'm not into slashers, or more into more elevated horror.
Yes.
That is where I'm at. When she had said that, and she had mentioned some of the other movies on there as well. If you haven't seen them, they're great, by the way. The Babadook was one that she mentioned. No, listen, I'm not a fan of slasher films for the most part. And again, I'll talk about the Freddys, the Jasons, the Michael Myers. And the reason why is because I know who's killing. I kind of can predict how the people are going to die and things of that nature. I got to tell you, as a rewatch, and I would tell anybody, I know that Scream 7 is around the corner and we're going to cover here on Nerds Podcast. But the truth of the matter is you don't see where it's coming from. And that's why I love the Scream series. I take back everything I've ever said about Scream. Like you said, 6 films, 30 years. Wes Craven, a legend in the horror of the film genre. We're talking about Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, Freddy Krueger, I mean, this guy is a man made for horror films. And you're right. The first one was phenomenal because I remember them even selling Drew Barry as like a main character and dead in the first in the first scene. So, you know, this is just absolutely great. Pete, I have the rules written down for each movie. And we'll go through this if you want to. Just for Scream 1, you can't have sex. You can't drink or do drugs, and you can't say "I'll be right back." That is the first rule of the 3. The second one rules: the body count is bigger, the death scenes are more gory, and if you make it a franchise, never ever, and we never get him to finish that sentence, and it's probably kill the main character off. Rules in 3: Randy's sister, of course, that's when she got the videotape in Scream 3. The killer is superhuman. Anyone, including the main character, can die. The past will come back to bite you in the past, right? And the brother and everything else becomes that. Scream 4, the rules in Scream 4. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't think I wrote them down because they weren't there. But I know that in the last Scream movie, basically because she said it, it's a franchise now. Now that's when they officially marked it a franchise for the most part, because Scream 5 wasn't labeled Scream 5, Pete. It was just Scream.
It was like a rebrand there.
They were trying to reboot it. In my opinion. But again, and that was again, and it could have been because Wes Craven had died, and it was the first one that he didn't direct. So just maybe some of that there. But yeah, so everything is bigger in the franchise than the last time. Whatever happened last time, expect the opposite. And the franchise, of course, continues installments that leave main characters expendable. That's what I have as the rules across all the films. But the fact that it has you guessing, and the minute that the movie starts, you're like, oh, that's the killer, and that's the killer, and that's the killer. That part is fun in a movie. And as much as they show trailers that have come out and things of that nature, you're probably going to get one or two of the people wrong out of this. But, you know, I had said that the reason why I didn't like this type of movies is because it's just too repetitive for me.
It is in that sense where, again, it's just somebody else that's taken on the persona of Ghostface, and for whatever reason, they're on the killing spree now. You brought up Drew Barrymore in the first one. She suggested to put her on the poster to sell it that she was in the movie, because then people wouldn't see that coming, that she was gone in 10 minutes. She was gone. The reboot Scream, which was after Scream 4, that was the first one that was not directed by Wes Craven, and the kid, his name was Wes, with the blonde. He had the highlights in his hair. His mother was actually the sheriff. She got promoted after Dewey was no longer sheriff. I think he retired. I think. Yeah. He was that was a honoring Wes Craven by having him being called Wes. His phone number is the date of birth of Wes Craven. Wow. So yeah. So just Easter eggs there. They're just honoring him that way. That was the first movie that he did not direct. But listen, this to me is a great franchise. If it's lasted this long and they're still making movies, there's a rumor out there they're already looking at Scream 8. So listen, and when we spoke about this before, when they make money, they're going to continue. They're going to continue. So you spoke about the reboot, which was Scream. This came out in 2022.
Yeah.
Now they went a different route, because we had Billy Loomis, and his reason was for Sydney's mother broke up. She was, kind of loose around town. She broke up their family because of the infidelity with her and Billy Loomis's father. Now, when they did the reboot, do you remember what the focus was here?
So Sam, of course, is the daughter of Billy.
Yes.
So again, they show how she sees uh, Billy's um, face, like in the reflection sometimes. So it was based around Sam. Tara was a different dad, I believe. So they didn't share the same father. Am I correct?
Yeah, same mother. They had different father.
Different fathers. Yeah, and this kid is obsessed. We find out, of course, going from, I want to say from 5, 6. We find out how obsessed he is with Ghostface. And listen, G move on the whatchamacallit, on the inhaler, on hiding the inhaler at the end to make them go back to the house where it first started. Like, again, just because all this stuff is a big franchise, it has so much nostalgia behind it as well, especially the first movie being one of a kind. I don't know of any other slasher film with a top character, of course, like Ghostface, that takes on different personas and things of that nature. But yeah, if I'm correct, bro, the Scream 5 was all about Billy's daughter, that relationship, kind of redoing the whole thing inside of Woodsboro as well.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't really crazy about the whole. Oh yeah, well, I was okay. I wouldn't have cared too much about this is Billy's daughter, but then her seeing the visions and they're saying, oh yeah, you got it in you to kill too, and I'm just like, I wasn't too crazy about that, but I don't. It wasn't a deal breaker for me. Scream 2022 was good. Scream 6 to me was really good because they changed the dynamic. They're in Manhattan.
Yeah, New York City changes everything.
Yeah, I that to me was cool. It was a different it was different from it being centered in Woodsboro. So because she was like, I mean, I think he's Richie. He's actually Huey in
Yeah.
in The Boys. He actually said, why would anybody come here? And it's true. I agreed with that. Like, why would you come back to this place? Because there's nothing but, there's a history of a serial killer here, but they're
It's
in
like
New
the
York.
same people that I'm sorry to cut you off. It's like the same people that want to visit Amityville and see that house and go walk into that house. Why? Why would you want to do that? It's just stupid. But listen, stupid sells. One of the things that all of these movies do is you're yelling at the TV. I mean, to your point, Scream 5 had me doing it. Scream 6 had me almost at no voice screaming at the TV.
Well, they spoofed it in Scary Movie when she's in the movie theater and she's screaming at the movie at the movie. Not to go in there, all that stuff, and they even mention it in, I believe it was I forgot which one it was, but he goes, why don't you just ask, why don't you go outside and investigate a scary noise or something like that, while he was on the phone with one of the victims. You never ask who's there. He said, you never ask who's there. Why don't you just go outside and investigate a weird noise or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So they definitely play off a lot of that stuff too. What we say while we're watching it in the comfort of our homes or in the movie theater, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? They kind of play off of that as well. But the two guys in the first one, they were big movie buffs that they kept on referencing movies. When he shot Randy, he referenced the line from Psycho. So it's, again, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'll be there. I'll be there open. If I can see it on Thursday, I will be seeing it on Thursday.
No, listen, this is gonna be great, right? So when something is, again, you don't realize how something is good if you just stay away from it. Like you gotta dive in a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I had to dive into all of these movies to kind of really dive in and really figure out what's really great about this. So it's great. It's great. And I honestly can't wait for number 7 at this point in time, because listen, how many characters have we seen on the Scream movies that have just taken flight and been some great characters? I mean, even Tara Wednesday, that's just so big names that they're actually doing nowadays. So it's It's phenomenal. I can't wait to see Scream 7. I think it's going to be great. If they're already saying Scream 8, they already know they have a banger on their hands.
Well, it also depends on the story. How is Scream 8 going to be linked to Scream 7? Because there was some controversy with Scream 6 with Melissa Barea, some comments she made. So she was not returning for Scream 7.
Yeah.
Nev Campbell wasn't in Scream 6, and it was because of a contract dispute.
Yeah, I heard she wasn't getting paid enough money, was it?
Yes, over salary. Yeah, so they had to do a rewrite of 7 because of this, of Melissa Barrera not coming back, the director not coming back, and Jenna Ortega not coming back. So they had to do a rewrite to kind of, get Sydney back, give her more money. So I honestly can't wait. I want to see which way they take this. I hope it's not the obvious thing that everybody's saying. I don't want to mention that because if that's the case, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But it is. I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm not a horror fan at all, and that's Puba's thing. But I am a fan of the Scream movies and have been ever since the first one. And look, there's another like a stereotype in Scream 2 where they say the black characters never last. And who are the first people to die in the second one? The 2 black characters, Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yep.
They die at the movie theaters. Watching, I guess the stab is what happened in Woodsboro in the previous movie. So they were watching that, and what happened? They died in the movie theater. And again, these are the black characters, and that's the stereotype. That's the thing with scary movies. The cameraman even mentioned it in Scream 2. He said
he wanted to be out.
He said we don't last long in situations like this. And in Scream 3, they were shooting Stab, another Stab sequel, and they had a black character. And he said, "Yo, you think I'm able to get these type of roles?" And he said, "No, I got to stick around because the cast was getting killed off in real life." So they just kind of hit on a lot of those type of stereotypes for scary movies, but to me, they're enjoyable. They're rewatchable as well.
They are.
Fuba, I know he went to and he binged all these movies, but it's kind of been a Scream month this month. They've been all over. They've been showing them nonstop, except for the last 2. But the first couple of Screams they've been showing. I did rewatch Scream 2022. I hadn't seen that in a while, but this is our pregame for Scream. We will both be seeing this movie. We will be back to cover it. Thank you everybody who has subscribed and who has supported us so far. If you haven't, this is your first time here, please do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that bell, and also if you could do us a favor, support the channel and subscribe.
The worst episode ever.